My name is Randy. I'm your host. I hope everybody's having a really great week. We're getting through the week. We're out there drinking our water or your soda of choice. We're out there touching our grass. We're making some good in the world. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of hop on here for a little bit, talk a little bit about witchcraft, and in particularly how do I say it? The craft in which I practice, chaos magic. It's kind of crazy. It's all over the place. Nothing is true, but like everything is permitted. That's kind of the philosophy of it. But it gets really interesting. It gets crazy. But I hope everybody's having a really great week. This is episode 11. Figured we'd get an episode out for the week. It's been about 10 or 11 days, I think, since episode 10. That one did pretty good. So, like I said, I hope everybody's having a really great week. We're making some good in the world. Chaos magic. Chaos magic is like, it's different because it has a lot to do with like philosophy and stuff, right? It's like, it makes you kind of focus on yourself, and it's, in a way, for me, it's like shadow work, but with everything that you do in the craft. It's always making you kind of check yourself and just keep yourself in line pretty much. It's neat. And I've researched a lot of different types of magic and a lot of different types of witchcraft and all these different things, and this one was just kind of always the one that resonated with me because it's like it's super big on philosophy and psychology. And for me, being somebody that is about to go back to school for parapsychology, this kind of just like falls right in line with it. But yeah, at its core, chaos magic is postmodern approach to magic. It's not a tradition with ancient roots, but rather a contemporary practice born in the late 20th century. This thing started in like the 70s and the 80s, and it's actually really neat, like, because it's so new, you can really like go back right to the start of it and trace who started it, who was the pioneers of it, and all that good stuff. It's crazy though. It teaches you that belief is not a static truth, but it's a tool that you can use. So chaos magic is super heavy, and like you're using yourself, your consciousness, your own philosophy on life, and your belief as your divination tool, which is different than a lot of other practices, because other practices will like they'll like be heavy on like tarot cards and like other things like that, but this is kind of like different. You're using yourself as like the medium. And I think I kind of resonated with this one a lot more because it's part of the reason why I go so hard for mediums, because I'm just like, everybody can do this shit. Like everybody can. And chaos magic is part of the reason why I am the way that I am like today, because I'm like, damn, I can be a medium. Anybody can be a fucking medium, honestly. It's really neat though. There's so many different forms of magic. In witchcraft, there's like green witches, hedge witches, kitchen witches. There's so many different types, and it's neat being able to like comfortably finally be able to be like, okay, I'm a chaos witch or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I'm in that category because chaos magic kind of has your hands in everything, but it's like different because you make the rules. You're not going off of like a set scripture. You're not going off of like preconceived notions. You literally it's a great philosophy because you experiment with it. And I'm super big on like experiments, right? It literally makes you like do everything that works and then literally just keep throwing out everything that doesn't work. And then eventually you have this whole stack of things that work for you, and then you just keep using them. It's really neat. In other forms of magic, belief is often unchangeable foundation. In chaos magic, Belief becomes fluid. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. So, like, honestly, everything goes. This one line of philosophy of chaos magicians liberating us from society, pretty much. Society is kind of like structured to make you go by the book. And chaos magic is like the opposite of that. It's like, don't go by the book, make up your own book. And I think that's why me and like a lot of people kind of resonate with it. It's so fascinating to me being able to like make the rules of, and it's like it's always evolving. So you're kind of just making up the rules as you go, and it's kind of like it's just fascinating. The history of it, like I said, it started in like the late 1900s, so the history isn't that long, honestly. This philosophy started in the 1970s and the 80s in England with Peter J. Carroll and Ray Sherwin, who wrote pivotal works like Liberating and Psychonaut. Those are like, if you practice chaos magic, those are the two books for sure that you at least want to have. I don't have them yet, but they're on my wish list on Amazon. They were both heavily influenced by Austin Osman. That's the first guy that kind of started it in the early 1900s. Osman Spare, the man who in the early 20th century created sigil magic. So sigils literally came out of chaos magic. Like he's the one that created it in the early 20th century. So like, you know what I mean? Early 1900s, like 19 something. Austin believed that subconscious mind is the seat of our power, and symbols bypass consciousness to embed desires directly into reality. I keep telling you guys there's a link between magic and witchcraft and the paranormal and extraterrestrial and NHI and UAP and the universe. Like all of those things, there's like a clear link. And for whatever reason, I can see it like so clearly. Hold on. For whatever reason, I can see that link clear as day. Like it's just so obvious to me. The link between the paranormal and witchcraft and the universe and the universe and NHI, UAP. It all has to do with consciousness, right? Like that's kind of the heart of everything. And with chaos magic, consciousness is what you're using as your divination tool, pretty much. You're using your belief, but it's like deeper than your thoughts. Like there's a pecking order. Like it's your words at the very front of things, and then it's your thoughts. And then before your thoughts, it's your intent. And then before your intent, it's your consciousness. And then before your consciousness, it's your subconscious. Chaos magic kind of forces you to bypass all of those different steps to get to where the magic happens, where it's somewhere in your subconscious. And that just so happens to be the lane to where if you're trying to contact NHI, if you're trying to connect with spirit, if you're trying to go on a ghost hunt, if you're a paranormal investigator, it's all like, you know that saying, like spirit knows you before you know yourself. It's because it's that information lies before a thought becomes an intention. Before you speak these words into reality, it like I said, words, thoughts, intent, consciousness, and then subconscious. Spirit knows everything about you because it can get all that information before it even becomes in your subconscious for whatever reason. So, like I said, that's part of the link that I think I've kind of figured out. The link between the paranormal and extraterrestrials like aliens and shit and witchcraft. I've been practicing for like a year now and just studying the shit out of chaos magic, and it's crazy. Because when you actually are doing it, you get to see the links like happen in real time. So he started it in the early 1900s. They were both heavily influenced by Austin Osman Spare. Austin believed the subconscious mind is the seat of our power, and symbols bypass consciousness to embed desires directly into reality. Before chaos magic, ceremonial traditions like Golden Dawn and Thelma dominated Western occultism. These systems were superstructured, hierarchical. I butchered the fuck out of that word. I don't know how to say it. And required a lot of study. Literal by the book magic. So chaos magic is like the opposite of by the book magic. You're going to make the rules. You're going to be the one in the driver's seat, and you're just going to do it trial by error. Trial and error. Like whatever works, works. Whatever doesn't, throw that shit out. Chaos users rebelled against this. Their argument was magic shouldn't be trapped in a book. It should be practical, adaptable, and personable. In chaos magic, your belief is your wand. You choose them, use them, and discard them. Chaos magic sees belief as an adaptable operating system. So, like I said, it's always evolving, and that's kind of the best part to me. It's always kind of changing. It changes with you, and it grows with you. Like when you're doing things by the book, and there's nothing wrong with other people in their other practices and their way of doing witchcraft and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But with chaos magic, it's just something liberating about being able to be the one that writes the book and the one that makes the rules. Like it's just something so freeing in that, to me at least. Like I said, once you're doing it like on a daily basis and you're finding ways to implement these things in your daily life, like that's the best part, honestly. I do it first thing in the morning when I'm making my coffee. Chaos magic is different because you can literally make your own deities. You can literally make anything that your mind can think of, you can make into something that could work for you and something that can do things for you and some things that can change things for you. But at the core of all that, it's literally like making you look at yourself. Like it comes off as being kind of selfish. And I can see that. I can admit that. It comes off because you're not really doing things for other people. It's like a way of doing witchcraft that makes you kind of focus on yourself, which I don't see anything wrong with. Like if you're going to go through the motions, go through the motions, but it's different for sure than other kind of practices because it makes you look at yourself and it's like constantly doing shadow work. Shadow work is like checking yourself and finding your flaws and then fixing your flaws and finding your demons and getting like dealing with your demons, pretty much like dealing with all the bad things about you and making them into good things. That's in essence what chaos magic is. It's making you figure out the good in you, figure out the bad in you, and then deal with it so that you can be a better person for the world. And that's why I like witchcraft so much. It's literally just a constant, it's never ending. For one, you're always learning. Like nobody's ever gonna have all the answers. But it's always something like it's making you look at yourself in the mirror like in the most purest form and just be a better person. Like it makes you do things on a daily basis that otherwise I don't think a lot of people would have done. It makes you focus on the intent. It makes you focus on your thoughts. Like when you say things, you kind of understand that words hold weight. Like words are powerful as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. They're powerful. But it's not a bad thing. It's just you realizing that, like, what's that Marvel saying? Like, with great power comes great responsibility or whatever. Like, that shit's true. It's true as fuck because, like, it kind of makes you look in the mirror and be like, I have all the power. With chaos magic, at least, because that's all I've been studying this last year. It makes you look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'm in the driver's seat. I have the power. And anything that my mind can possibly think of, I can make into reality. I saw an example the other day. This guy was like, if the Lucky Charms leprechaun, he wanted him to be his deity to like bring him good luck and good fortune and everything, and he did. And it's like a stupid example, but it works for him. That's how he made it make sense for him. And I think that's one of the most important parts when it comes to witchcraft. You got to make things make sense to you. Don't worry about if things are going to make sense to other people and like try to fit in and like conform to other people and shit. But no, your practice is your practice. Everybody does it differently. It just so happens to be that I've noticed, at least, chaos magic is the one that kind of, it's the one that gives you more leeway to do things how you want to do it. Like you're definitely not going by the book and things like that. You're making the rules as you go, and you're experimenting, and you're doing things that make sense to you. It's all like super fascinating. And this whole last year, it's been like a nonstop spiritual journey for me. And it has been for a lot of people too. But it's like you're just kind of learning, and you never stop learning. And you're learning about your birth chart, you're learning about the full moon. Also, yeah, shout out today. Today's a fucking full moon. Hope everybody's out there collecting their moon water. I've already got a jar sitting out there. That's crazy how like the stars just kind of align. Like I'm filming on a full moon. Like that's pretty cool. But yeah, this whole last year, it's just been one kind of spiritual journey through occultism. And then I fell in love with that. And then it was witchcraft. And then I fell in love with that. And then I'm the kind of person, I don't know about you guys, but I'm the kind of person like if I'm like a dog on a bone with something, I'm like 1,000% on that something. You know what I mean? Like I'm just learning every little part of it. It just so happens to be with witchcraft and occultism. It's literally never ending. Like you just can't learn enough, honestly. And nobody's ever gonna have all the answers because we're all on this journey kind of learning shit. But it's neat to just be kind of like doing it for the last year, because you start to see the links between the paranormal. Because I've always loved like spooky shit and like weird shit like that, you know? But you just kind of start seeing the links between the paranormal and like ghost hunts and paranormal investigations and NHI, non human intelligence, and UAP. It's just all so fascinating to me because it's truly like never ending. But that's been my thing for like the last, and I haven't even told anybody like in my family really, or anybody like that. But I don't care. Like it's for me. It's not really for anybody else. It's definitely not for anybody else. You know what I mean? Like everybody's on a spiritual journey, whether it be Jesus or paganism or anything. Like I feel like a lot of people, like most people, are on a spiritual journey. And it's just about respecting whatever everybody does. Like people get so weird when you talk about witchcraft and death and ghosts and shit like that. And I'm just like, I can't get enough of it. I'm just like, yeah, give me more, give me more. Like what YouTuber posted this week, you know what I mean? Like who's out there investigating? Who's out there on the front lines? Like I'm not out there on the front lines. I'm in here talking to you guys. But it's all like we're all looking for the same answers, just in different ways, you know what I mean? I'm looking through it, through my research, through my craft, through the occult, through Discord, through all the people that we meet. Like I said, everybody's on their own spiritual journey, and you learn so much. Like if you guys are if you guys are like anything like me, like I love the psychology of things, right? I love the why. Like why are people the way they are? You know what I mean? Why do certain things happen? Like I grew up Catholic. You know what I mean? And so being in Catholic my whole life, it's like they don't really like too much when you ask why. But I've always been that person that's like, but why? You know, but why? With these with witchcraft specifically and with chaos magic, it's like I said, you're in the driver's seat. You make the rules. What works for you works for you. Like I said, I've been doing this a year, and I don't have any deities. I work with both light and dark energy. That's my clairvoyancy. I don't see things, I don't hear things. I feel things. Like I feel energy. Like, can you feel it? Like, I've gotten really good at it too. I ain't gonna lie. I've gotten to the point where you can differentiate the difference between spirit, like a demon, like deities. Like you can tell the difference. And it's also fascinating to me because it's like the more you learn about it is the more that you're going to learn about yourself. Like you might take 5 steps forward in your craft, and then you're also going to take 6 or 7 steps forward with yourself, if that makes sense. And that's why I've noticed with chaos magic, it like I said, it's constantly going to make you check yourself. Like along the way, you're going to hit these little checkpoints. You're going to start noticing things about yourself. And it's all because of the craft. And there's no rubric, there's no curriculum, there's none of that for it. You're making the rules. You're literally in the driver's seat. And I gotta stop fucking saying literally. Like I'm some California chick or something. But yeah, that's the best part about it. You're in the driver's seat, you make the rules, you say what goes, you do the work, you find out what works, you throw out what doesn't, and then you keep it pushing. You keep looking forward, you don't look back. The only time you look back is when you're doing shadow work, is when you're checking yourself and just making sure that there's a lot of like branches, like when it comes to this. There's a lot of different like little segues and tangents that you can go on when it comes to chaos magic. And a lot of it is like, one thing for me was like ego, right? Like being like in our occult Purgatory Club, right? Being a leader of something like that, it can make your head like blow up like super big, right? But so you want to do things. It makes, like I said, it makes you look yourself in the mirror and check yourself. Like it makes me check my ego and be like, no, I'm nobody. I'm on this journey just like everybody else. Other people might not look at it that way. They might be like, oh shit. You know what I mean? But that's just that it makes you realize how stupid that is, if that makes sense. So yeah, just being on this journey this whole time, it just makes you constantly look forward. You're gonna look back sometimes, but that's really just to kind of check your progress. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like we wanna see how we're doing and all these things. Like I'm always preaching like your craft is your craft, your practice is your practice. There's no comparison, like my craft to not Minecraft, like what the kids play, but it's like my craft. You know what I mean? Compared to like other people's crafts, because everybody's gonna do it differently. No two chaos magicians, I'm sure, practice the same. Just like I'm sure no like two herbal witches practice the same. Like everybody does this shit differently, and that's the beauty of it. It just so happens to be like I think with traditional witchcraft, a lot of people go by the book and they go off of tried and tested spells that work. With this, you're making the spells. You're doing things like your way. Like I know in traditional witchcraft, you make your own spells as well, and you make your sigils and all that. But this way is like literally like my. I gotta stop fucking saying literally. But this way is like it's my way. You know what I mean? And again, that's why I say it. It comes off as being selfish, and it's okay when you're doing this. It's okay to be selfish. A little bit at least. Okay. You guys can call this my shower thoughts. You can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what? I also hate the term baby witch. We got to get rid of that term. That term annoys the shit out of me. It comes off as like condescending almost. Like it comes off as like somebody that hasn't checked their ego yet. And it's always somebody that isn't a chaos witch. It's always somebody that's like traditional witch or some other kind of witch. But you can tell they haven't done the work to like check their ego and like because it always comes off as condescending. When I hear the term baby witch, I'm like, you don't know how long somebody's been on their journey. Like I know people that have been on their journey their whole life for 20 years, but maybe in the last 2 years is when they kind of started practice in real life. But I always tell people there's instances in everybody's life where I'm sure there's instances in almost 9 times out of 10 everybody's life where they have done something in their life and they haven't like something has happened where they can't explain it. Like maybe they put an intent out there and like, hey, I wish, like maybe they didn't study hard enough on their test or whatever, and they're just like, fuck, I hope I got at least a C or whatever, a B, and they get their test back, and sure enough, it's a C or a B. Like that's just an example, but there's so many instances like that that I'm sure a lot of people go through and deal with, that things have happened in their life and they've done some kind of magic and they haven't known it. And they've probably been doing it their whole life, like little rituals and things like that. Like I said, I start it every morning with my coffee, put a little intent in the creamer, get the morning going like it's a good time. And to tangent a little bit, I think that's how residual energy gets. Like, you ever watch Ghost Adventures? Or not Ghost Adventures, like a paranormal investigation or whatever? I have no idea why I just said Ghost Adventures. But you ever see like an investigation and like, you see residual energy. Like every morning if I'm making my coffee at the same time every single morning. And God forbid, knock on wood, I fucking die tomorrow. And somebody comes in here and investigates my apartment. They're probably if they go in there at 7, 8 in the morning, they're probably gonna see my ghost walk into the kitchen making some coffee. You'll catch like glimpses of that in paranormal investigations, and it's crazy. But yeah, residual energy. Look out for that whenever you're watching investigations and whatnot. Try to differentiate. Try to say, okay, is that an intelligent spirit or is that just somebody's imprint that they left on this world? Because that's all it is. If I did that every morning for 20 years and then I fucking died, that'll be the imprint that's left in this apartment. Like for sure, I think. Yeah. But you gotta just do that next time you're watching an investigation. See if you can tell the difference between residual and intelligent spirit. I can pick up on it pretty easy just because of my clairvoyancy. Like I said, I can't see things, I can't hear things. I was watching Hill House, the chick with the gloves, like she could touch something and like see what's up with the energy in the room. Like I can just feel energy, but it's not to like that extent. But I can definitely tell the difference between spirit and deities and demons. Like there's a difference. Like when a spirit walks in the room, it feels like anybody else walked in the room because they're just like us. They're people that walked this earth at one point and now they're not here anymore. They're dead. But when it comes to deities, like higher powers and shit, yeah. Like they walk in the room and it's just different. Like when a demon walks in the room, it's different. It's not like crazy energy or anything, but you can definitely tell the difference. But yeah, chaos magic. These are the things that go through my head when, like I said, these are like shower thoughts. But I just wanted to kind of talk about chaos magic just because that's what I practice personally. Paradigm shifting. Chaos users will often shift between belief systems to achieve goals. For instance, invoking Odin for wisdom, then switching to Busket for home protection. So you'll see a lot of paradigm shifts in chaos magicians or chaos witches or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves. Like people that practice in like a chaotic kind of way like that. Like people that got their hands in a lot of different things. And a lot of different things, I'm meaning like, because most witches they'll be doing tarot or they'll be doing mediumship on the side or they'll be doing things like that. But chaos magician, they're the ones writing the story. It's like they're the main character in their story. But you'll notice with other practices, they'll kind of just stick with one deity or one god or one source or whatever. Chaos magicians will freaking switch all the time. And like I said, I'm about a year into this now, and I don't even have a deity or anything like that. Like for chaos, which is it's more of like a solo thing for sure. And I've just kind of been trying to stick to that for as long as I can. If a deity comes to me one day, then trust me, you guys will be the first to know. But I purposely don't look up deities because I feel like if one was going to come to me, then they would come to me and they would tell me their name and things like that. But so I'm weird like that. I don't look up deities. I'm not like researching that kind of thing. But I acknowledge that they're there because you can feel their energy. Chaos magic strips away unnecessary ritual to focus on what produces results, but elaborate ritual is still very much practiced when looking for desired intent. So, like I said, they take away all the bullshit pretty much. You know what I mean? They're just like, whatever works, works. Whatever doesn't, fucking toss it. Like, for me, whenever I'm doing spells or whatever, it's as simple and as like bare minimum as possible. I don't have crystals, I don't have rocks, I don't have any of that shit. I would love to have all that stuff one day, but I'm just somebody that doesn't. You know what I mean? It's all those properties and everything that goes into that. Yeah, I would love to have all those things one day, but until I do, you gotta make do with works. And you can use me as an example. I'm somebody that's been doing it for a year and haven't had any of that shit. And I've been just making it work. Practical chaos magic. Sigil creation. Like I said, the guy that made sigils, he was a chaos magician. He's the one that believed, fuck going by the book, like I'm gonna make the rules. Nah, fuck with that guy. Formulate your intent. It says, formulate your intent. Like, for an example, I have clarity and confidence in my work. Then you would remove all the repeating letters, and then you would rearrange those letters into a symbol. Like that would be your sigil pretty much. Charge it via focus, intent, pain, meditation, or exhaustion, or any kind of like emotion that like makes you kind of exert extra energy. Like pain does that, like working out does that. Like hit a couple fucking push-ups. Imagine hitting a couple push-ups before you make a sigil just to get that like exertion. But it's not even limited to that. Like any kind of exertion, you can let your mind wander to what I mean by that. And then you forget it, let it go, let your subconscious work with it. Because that's kind of the basis of chaos magic. You're letting your subconscious do the work, but you're trying to figure out how to bypass certain steps to get to your subconscious. Because that's where all the good stuff lies. Like I said, your subconscious is where you're able to talk to spirit. That's where they're able to see what your intention is. That's how you're able to talk to NHI and UAP and extraterrestrials and ghosts and demons and spirits and deities. It's all in your subconscious. Interesting shit. I'm telling you, look into it. These aren't conspiracy theories, you know. This is like tried, true, tested, and all that. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. But yeah, that's how you make a sigil pretty much. You set your intention, then you get rid of all the extra letters, and then you rearrange those letters into a symbol. You can write that symbol, you can draw that symbol on a piece of paper. Some people burn it, some people put it on like a teacup or some shit. But yeah, it's all you. And that's not even like the set way of doing it. That's just how I've been doing it. So that's what I wrote down. Gnosis states. So that could be construed as like going in a trance. I've been doing this a lot in the last couple of months as well. Going into like a gnosis state, like with drumming and kind of like trancing out. Like this is how you do Estes method without having headphones on and this is how you do Estes method without going with like for real like trancing out. Altered consciousness is key to bypass the critical mind. Remember that. I'll say it one more time. Altered consciousness is the key to bypass the critical mind. That's your gnosis state. That's you going in a trance. That's you meditating until you go to like a different place. Methods include intense meditation, ecstatic dance, drumming, sensory deprivation. Oh my God. And these are like practical things that you can do every day. So every day you can set intention in the morning or at night or at lunch or whatever. Every day you can meditate at some point in the day. And therefore, every day you can try to go into a gnosis state. Like when I first started meditating, it took me like 45 minutes minimum to even get to a point where my mind was quiet enough to be able to hear, like almost go there. Now it's like 5-10 minutes. And that's just in a year. I did C5 like 6 months ago and it took me like 15 minutes. So again, when you check in yourself, it's making you just kind of look at yourself, and it's like checkpoints, right? You're checking your progress. It's almost like a progress report in school or whatever. Chaos magic is heavy in psychological practice. Modern chaos magic manipulates subconscious to create change. So that's kind of the premise, the philosophy around chaos magic. That's kind of like the engine behind it. Like you're trying to get to your subconsciousness. You're bypassing whatever the fuck you need to bypass to get there. And then you're using your subconsciousness to create change in your life. Again, I don't know much about other practices or whatever, but that's the engine that kind of runs chaos magic. That's what you're using to invoke change, any kind of change, but it's mostly for yourself. It could be for other people. I've seen people do chaos magic, do protection for their home, for other people, like healing things and things like that, but it's mostly for you. It's what I noticed. You could be different. You could be a fucking chaos magician and only be doing shit for other people, but that's, you know what I mean? I think there's another word for that. Like I said, chaos magicians are kind of selfish, and it's okay to be selfish because you're always working on yourself to be a better person. And again, that's the beauty in witchcraft. Sigils are psychological hacking. They embed your goals beyond your conscious resistance. So the sigil would be like a divination tool other than yourself to kind of, it would be the form that you would be trying to use to bypass and get to your subconscious. Getting to your subconscious is the tricky part. And that's what chaos magicians have figured out. They figured out in your subconsciousness, that's where all the good stuff is. That's where the key to all this shit is. Like it's not in your words. Your words are your spells, right? That's what you're putting out there in the universe. It's not in your thoughts. That's before the words. It's not in your consciousness. It's in your subconscious. So to get there, you got to bypass, what is that, 4 steps? Paradigm shifts are cognitive flexibility. Chaos magic is amazing because it's so fluid. Like I said, you're in the driver's seat. You can make this shit as easy or as hard as you want it to be. Being able to change and adapt new ways means your magic is always evolving. It's never ending. We're always learning. It's always going to be evolving. Today, chaos magic influences about every branch of modern witchcraft. Sigils for manifestation, creating personal rituals instead of following what's already been done, adapting things based on intuition. Chaos magic teaches us our mind is our ultimate tool, and it challenges us to take full responsibility for our beliefs, our actions, and our results. That's another thing I really like about it. it makes you say, okay, this is what I did. This is the result of that. It's kind of like cause and effect, right? So ask yourself, what beliefs are you holding onto in fear of tradition? What could you change to empower yourself instead? That's kind of like the question behind chaos magic. It's saying, fuck tradition, fuck the book that you read. Why are you scared to change things in your life because of like preconceived notions? Chaos magic is trying to get rid of preconceived notions and things like that. It's saying, if you know a better way, use it. It shouldn't be my way or the highway. It's because, like I said, nobody's got all the answers. Anybody can do this. That's why it goes so hard for mediums. A couple years ago, I would have never been like, yeah, I'm a medium. But literally, like, just doing the practice, it's shown me that I can be a medium. I am a medium, and that anybody and everybody is a medium. Everybody can do this shit. It's liberating on like a different level. So just ask yourself those questions. What could you change to empower yourself instead? And what beliefs are you holding on to out of fear of tradition? So that would be like traditional religion. Like, what are you not doing because of something, right? If you know a better way, do it. That's pretty much what it's saying. If you know a better way, fucking do it. Because you never know. I keep saying this. You might be the one that cracks the code. Like, we're all learning. Nobody has the answers yet. And with chaos magic, it kind of forces us to look ourselves in the mirror and through trial and error, find out the answers and keep what works. And I've got a whole this thing. I've never in my life filled up one of these. I'm literally about to fill it up within like a year. You know what I mean? Or less than that, like 3 months. I've been using this one specifically. But yeah, chaos magic. It was not in my bingo cards to get on here today and tell you guys that's the kind of witchcraft I practice. But again, shower thoughts. So, like I said, chaos magic, it's neat. It's different. You're in the driver's seat. It's cool. It's spooky. Makes you look at life differently. Makes you look at yourself differently. Like I said, you're going to be making strides in your craft. You're going to make 5, 10 steps forward in your craft, and then you're going to make 10, 15, 20 steps forward in your life. That's just how I see it. It's been doing that for me. Like, witchcraft is so good for people. But this one specifically, this lane that I'm in, chaos magic. And I got a question. You guys, I'm a guy. So I'm not a witch, right? So you guys put in the comment section, what would be the male version of a chaos witch, right? Because I ain't trying to get canceled out here, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a really amazing thing, honestly. Like I said, you're going to be making strides in your life. You're going to take 10 steps forward in your craft, and you're going to take 15 to 20 steps forward in your life. And then you're going to have all that knowledge to keep making steps forward but it's like, it's a daily thing. Like, I practice every single day. I'm not out here invoking spirits, and like every once in a while I'll do that. Like, I'll do a spell just to kind of see who's around, see if there's anybody lingering in the house and things like that. But it's never like, it's always like something every day. And that's kind of the beauty of chaos magic. It's too easy to just implement these things in your everyday life, right? It's too easy. You're in the driver's seat, you make the rules. If anybody else out there is a chaos witch or a chaos magician or whatever, put in the comment section, like, what's been your thoughts on it? What kind of magic do you practice? If you haven't told people, that's fine. Keep it to yourself. But this is me kind of just telling everybody what I practice, what I've been doing, and how it's been working for me. It's life-changing. Like I said, it's liberating. It's amazing. I love everything about it. It's it it's the witch lane that makes you kind of have your hands in everything, right? Like we're running the occult, we're running the YouTube channel. Got a lot of things going on right now, and it's just like this is at the core of everything is my craft. Not Minecraft, my craft. What I practice literally I gotta fucking stop saying literally. This will be funny to do. Everybody take a shot every time I say literally in this video. Oh, that's too funny. But yeah, it's my craft, you know. Everybody's practice is different. And that's the beauty of it. It's just I just wanted to kind of share what I've been doing and what I do on a day-to-day. And like I said, it's a beautiful thing. I make 10 steps forward in my craft and my practice, and then I'll make 20 steps forward in my life. You're in the driver's seat. If anybody else out there practices other kind of is a different type of witch, put it in the comment section, write your story out, join our Discord. And while I'm remembering it, if you guys are watching this right now, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe. I've never said that in any other video. I think that shit is so cringy. That shit is so cringe. Like I don't give a fuck if people like the video, if people subscribe or whatever. This is like spooky shit, so it's gonna pop up on your feed anyways. I think that's what I've been noticing, but yeah, might as well. Fuck it, like the video. It's free. It's free 99. Subscribe. That shit's free as fuck. This is episode 11, Purgatory Club Podcast. If you guys made it all the way to the end, I appreciate the fuck out of you guys. You guys are amazing. If you're watching, listening on Apple Podcasts, you guys are real ones. Chaos Magic. Like I said, this is like brand new. It started in the 60s and the 70s, but the first guy that kind of put it into practice was in the early like 1910s. So if this is like a path that you want to go down, there's not that much history on it. Like look into it. You can literally get a good foothold on it and see what it's honestly all about. I almost said literally, but you can see what it's all about. And you can there's so many good books on it. Like it's to kind of just get your feet wet with it. But like I said, if you're going to be this kind of witch, you're in the driver's seat, you're making the rules, you're writing your spells, you're making the sigils. You are in control. I promise you it's going to be, and I'm not even trying to convince anybody to do this kind of witchcraft over another. Like if you're doing witchcraft in general, I already fuck with you. Like you guys are already kind of my kind of people, like honestly. But yeah, I'm not trying to convince anybody to do this one over any other one, but I just find it so fascinating. Like I hate going by the book. Like I'll write my notes and stuff, but I just be on here yapping. I just be on here talking shit. Like I said, I did not plan to get on here and tell everybody what kind of witchcraft I practiced this morning. But here we are on a full moon. After this is done, I'm about to start editing this and go collect my moon water. It's going to be a chill night. We're going to throw on some jams. But yeah, this is episode 11. If you guys made it to the end of the video, you might as well hit the like button, subscribe, do all the things. Like I'll say it for this video. I probably won't say it for another one because, again, that shit is corny. But I appreciate the fuck out of everybody that watches the podcast and listens to the podcast. It's weird. I know I talk a lot, but y'all are real ones if you're here and you're watching it. Like, there's so many podcasts out there you could be watching, but if you're here watching mine, you're a fucking real one. I'll tell you that much. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Get out there, drink some water or Coke or Dr. Pepper. Make somebody else's day. This is the Purgatory Club Podcast. I will catch you guys on the next one.